I'm blessed.
All right, we're back on the air, everybody, on the Pro Wrestling Experience on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. And we are joined by referee for Chikara Pro Wrestling and many different independent wrestling organizations around the United States, Bryce Remsburg. It's an honor to get to talk to you, and how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. The honor is all mine, sir. Bracing for this next round of snow. I'm starting to feel like my dad. I talk about the weather so much. But anyway, here I am having a good time, talking to you on my lunch break at my job. It could be a lot worse,
I know. Especially here with Chicago, we've been having a lot of bad weather as well.
I
know you guys are getting it pretty bad out there in the East Coast as well.
No, I'm over it, man. I'm going to Los Angeles in 2 weeks, and that can't come soon enough. I can't wait to get out there. There's no snow out there. They freak out when it rains out there. They don't even know what snow is.
So, for those who don't know, on National Pro Wrestling Day on the 1st of February, if I'm not mistaken, the announcement for the return of Chikara Pro Wrestling is coming on May 25th in Philadelphia, and I can't wait. I started getting to watch Chikara last year, and I got to watch some of the old pay-per-views and stuff on iPay-per-view, and a fun family entertainment show. And for those who've never seen Chikara Pro Wrestling, Bryce, can you paint the picture of what Chikara does and what they represent as far as an independent wrestling company is?
Well, I think that Chikara is in many ways independent wrestling for the non-independent wrestling fan. We offer a little bit of everything, a little something for everybody. If you've never come to a wrestling show and you think wrestling's stupid, we invite you to come give Chikara a shot, and we like to believe that the next time you come, you'll be bringing your friends with you, because we really try to, entertainment for all ages. You could be a 5-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 25-year-old, or an 85-year-old, have a good time. We have fans of all ages at our shows, and we travel around, and we just an entertaining, good old time, kind of akin to maybe like the Harlem Globetrotters or the Monster Truck Jams, or you go out there, when Chikara comes to town, it's not so much about what the main event is, it's what Chikara brings to the table, and we want everyone to come, give it a try, give it a shot, and especially we're really doing a big part to build awareness here. It's a really good jumping off point for new fans. We're about to start our 14th season here, coming up on May 25th, and a full tour schedule for the rest of the year to follow after that. And this is a chance to jump on board, and we invite everyone to do that. And like I said, it's a wrestling for the non-wrestling fan, or wrestling for the displaced wrestling fan. If you were a wrestling fan back in the Attitude Era, or even more so back in the Hogan Era, back in the 80s, a lot of folks my age were a fan as a kid, and now they think it's dumb. Well, Chikara's got a little bit of Japanese action, a little bit of Mexican action, a little bit of hard-hitting action, a little bit of high-flying action, a little something for everyone. Comedy in your wrestling. It's a very specific flavor of ice cream, but we're convinced that if more people would try this flavor of ice cream, they would fall in love with the flavor of ice cream.
Yeah, especially our own Colt Cabana being
Sure.
part of Chikara, and
he's the mayor, right? He's become mayor of Chicago by now, I imagine.
Yeah, basically, Punk would be like the president if they had it for the states.
The president of Chicago.
Yeah, but
I would vote for him. I probably wouldn't be elected because I don't live there, but I would vote for him.
I don't know why not. Colt's been a great ambassador for all types of wrestling, comedy,
Absolutely.
serious wrestling, and Colt's been a staple for Chikara for years. And you guys do majority of the shows here at the Logan Square Auditorium, right?
Yes. Logan Square Auditorium is one of my favorite wrestling venues in the entire world. A great electricity in that room. We have had such a success in Chicago. We last time we came to town last year, we had 2 shows. We had an afternoon and an evening show, a one-day Tag World Grand Prix tournament. It's an awesome venue. A lot of the times when we perform in major American cities, we're at a concert venue or a place that you can't have kids. And Chicago is kind of the best of both worlds, because it's a legit, big time venue right in the heart of the city, and it's also all ages. So it's win-win. So yeah, Logan Square is awesome. Chicago's awesome. So I'm hoping we can slot that into the tour schedule this year.
we're here in the Pro Wrestling Experience at ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com every Wednesdays 10 to 1 with me, Josh, and Joseph Moore, my new intern, talking to Bryce Remsburg from Chikara Pro Wrestling. You've been a announcer, a promo guy for upcoming shows, and referee, and I've always wanted to get to know a referee as far as independent wrestling is concerned, because it's not like a mainstay like TNA or WWE, and I always wanted to know how the lifestyle is. For some guys will probably do a show on the weekends, and some guys just go out every single day throughout the week. How is it for a referee as far as your schedule is concerned?
Well, when I first started, I was cutting my teeth. I was all about networking and making friends and getting out there as much as I could. And then I in my younger years, I was really hustling, 10, 11, 12 shows a month, 100 shows a year, like really all over the place. And for a very, very brief time, I was trying to pay my bills by pro wrestling, and that didn't last very long, obviously. But now, as an older gentleman, a married gentleman, I have fairly important in my day job. I kind of a little bit more choosy about my my bookings and appearances. Obviously, Chikara will take precedence. I have a good time here and there with Shimmer when I can make it, and Beyond Wrestling up in Providence, Rhode Island is a great thing going on, and I'll be appearing with Evolve and Dragon Gate quite a bit in the next couple months. Wrestling is fun, whatever's going on, but definitely not every single weekend, as my wife would probably disown me. But definitely, Chikara takes the precedence. If there's a Chikara show, you better bet, unless it's a wedding or a funeral, I'm going to be there.
That's cool. Will you be down at WrestleCon this year?
I absolutely will. I'll be on all of the WWN Live Experience shows. I'll be there for Evolve. I fly in on Thursday, and I'll be at Kaiju and Dragon Gate on Friday, and and Shimmer and Dragon Gate on Saturday. And I think there's one more, maybe. I don't know. I think it's 5 shows, or 5 or 6 shows. I don't know. It's a lot of shows. But I go down Thursday and come home Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. New Orleans is a great town, too. It's going to be an exciting place to meet with a lot of exciting people. New Orleans is awesome. I've only ever visited once with my wife, and I look forward to going back with my buddies.
That's really cool. I'm trying to save as much money as I can and go down to WrestleCon this year. We have to head into break really quick. Can you stay on with us for a little bit?
Sure, man.
All right, cool. We'll continue our conversation with Bryce Remsburg from Chikara Pro Wrestling. Good conversation so far. We'll be right back in about 5 minutes. This is the Pro Wrestling Experience, which is live on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com.
.com/cage. That's beonair.com/CAGE.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pro Wrestling Experience on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com. Play a little Dave Matthews, also the theme song for the Colony in Chikara, as we're joined by referee of Chikara Pro Wrestling, Bryce Remsburg. Going back to our conversation earlier, we had the Pro Wrestling National Pro Wrestling Day on February 1st, and seeing that brawl and the return of Archibald Peg, and the announcement of Chikara coming back on May 25th. How was that experience trying to handle that whole brawl?
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was just that whole 9 months led up to that brawl. When it was going on, I had literal goosebumps. It was crazy. It was nuts. It was most ambitious storyline ever attempted in professional wrestling, one of the biggest brawls ever attempted in professional wrestling. It was crazy. It was chaos, and the crowd was eating it up. We were, everyone was feeding off of them, and the reactions were awesome. And the best news of all, like Icarus said, May 25th, tell the world we're coming back, and that's what we're trying to do. It's going to be an exciting, packed house at the Funplex in Easton, PA on Sunday, May 25th, and we're looking forward to selling the place out for real this time.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and especially watching that brawl. It's a feel-good story, hearing that Chikara is back now in the mainstay of wrestling for the ongoing future. And in a world right now, as far as wrestling, where everything's always questioned and there's so much pessimistic outlooks in wrestling. Well, for the mainstream side, the fact that we have a cult following, especially with Chikara, and that announcement, I think, would add on to more positive light as far as the rest of the year is coming up. So I'm really excited to see Chikara come back in. Definitely will be here the next time you guys come to Chicago.
Yeah, we're excited to be back. A year on the Chikara schedule without a stop in Chicago seems like a day without sunlight. So I got to feel like if I were a betting man, I would say when, not if. So I look forward to seeing all the awesome Chikara fans in the greater Chicagoland area, swinging by Lou Malnati's while I'm there, and maybe even popping in at the Square Circle Cafe for a drink.
Yes, sir. As we were playing the theme song, we come back from break, the Colony. I think that's one of the more unique gimmicks that I've seen in a while in wrestling. So you guys have a colony where a lot of the guys are not showing their faces. There's a lot of different designs and costumes. There's a lot of ants fighting against the heel ants, and it's really top-notch, Joseph. If you haven't got to see a Chikara show, you really got to check it out. So we have Icarus, for who I remember, and Eddie Kingston, of course, and Delirious, and a lot of other good independent wrestlers as far as Chikara. What do you think separates Chikara from the other independent wrestling organizations?
I think a lot of independent wrestling organizations are afraid to embrace the wackiness of professional wrestling. I mean, professional wrestling at the heart of it is wacky. It's ridiculous. It's guys in ridiculous, colorful costumes, fighting by whipping guys off the ropes and drop kicking. Like, that's not how you fight. That's not how you fight someone. Professional wrestling is ridiculous, and that's why I love it. That's why I fell in love with it when I was a young kid. So what Chikara does is kind of takes that wackiness, that ridiculousness, and turns it up to 11 and embraces it. Like, yes, these ants hate these other ants, and these guys that are giant ice cream cones are mad at the Egyptian guys that like to break dance. Like, that's all a day in a life of our world at Chikara. Like, a lot of things in the world stink. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of unhappiness. There's a lot of terrible things going on in the world. I used to use pro wrestling as a kid as my escape, and now as an adult, I use Chikara and performing and creating and producing, smiles for other people as my escape. Wrestling is supposed to be ridiculous. To me, wrestling is not guys dropping each other on their head as many times as they can, as hard as they can. Wrestling is being crazy and a compelling story and breathtaking athleticism and, some smiles and some laughs and some fun for all. And for my money, nobody does that better than Chikara.
Mm-hmm. Before we have to let you go, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk with us, and especially with you being one of the more popular non-wrestlers in the world of independent professional wrestling.
Oh, go on.
Do you have any sneak preview as to what we might expect to see on May 25th?
I think that there will be a lot of a natural progression of this long, crazy story that we're telling. Act 1 was a lot of setup, and Act 2 was a lot of sadness and disappointment, and I think Act 3, which is the comeback, the excitement, the happiness, I think Act 3 has only just begun. I think you're going to see a lot more of Chikara at its finest, Chikara doing what it does best on May 25th. I don't know a lot of specifics, but I know it's going to be quite the weekend. A lot of things are in the works to make excuse me, a lot of things are in the works to make it an even bigger event, an even bigger weekend than we had even planned because of the ridiculous, crazy outpouring response we received when tickets went on sale. So yeah, it's going to be a fun-filled Lucha Super Party all weekend long in Easton, and we hope everyone can be there with us.
So, once again, thank you, Bryce, for coming on today. Can you give the good folks of our audience where they can find you and where they can find Chikara for more information?
There's a website at ChikaraPro.com. There's actually kind of like a prologue up now explaining, like a way to keep up on the stories, kind of a little who's who, a little what's happened, a little how to get people back involved. Because, like I said, this beginning of season 14 coming up is a perfect jumping off point for a lot of folks. And me personally, I'm at Bryce is Right on Twitter. Because a woman has the Bryce is Right and she won't give it up, and I harassed her and she blocked me. But whatever, we can talk about that another time. And I'm on my Facebook as a real name, and I love the element of Facebook and Twitter being able to converse immediately with fans around the world. It's definitely something that I'm pretty sure Jimmy Snuka and Paul Orndorff weren't doing at WrestleMania 1.
Yes. Thank you, Bryce. Again, have a great day, and hopefully get to talk to you soon.
Absolutely, guys. Hope to see you at the Logan Square Auditorium.